Hey everybody, what's going on? So this is Corey Michael Sanchez coming to you from Auckland, New Zealand. MojoGlobal.com if you want to check us out. We have a case study here that's a pretty epic. His name's Randy Ross. He's the president and CEO and owner of Digital Nomad 724. He works with private jet owners, and it's pretty fantastic. And he's been using LinkedIn. He got the High Paid Expert course here that we offer at Mojo Global, and has been crushing it. So, Randy, thanks for being here.
Hey Corey, really glad to join with you. So yeah, thank you for all your training. I've been doing it for a number of years with you, and now it's finally turning into success. So, especially sort of the ability to be able to train people now, because that's the piece I was missing. So I've done your social BFF program for a while to go out and do the sort of monthly lead generation where I charge people normally like $2,000 a month to do the lead generation. But one of the things I was struggling with is that sometimes when people don't want to accept that offer, that I didn't have anything else to go to. And in some markets, I mean, if someone's selling a low-priced widget or something, it's hard to see the ROI for them to pay that amount of money. Obviously, in the big ticket items, it works. So now what I've been able to do is in the sales cycle, when I'm talking to people, if they don't want to do the monthly program, I'm able to offer them to do just one-on-one training. I do an eight-week training program like that you've set up. So response to that's been very positive. I actually do an offer. So my offer for that is $3,000 for the 8 weeks. So it works out to your $375 an hour. It actually probably in reality works out a little bit less than that, because like anybody, when you're teaching something, you do a little bit of prep. And of course, I like to see the customer's industry. And then when I'm doing my presentations, put in their own profiles and try to pull some of their competitor profiles, but it's still pretty good. Maybe it's only $369 an hour.
So. That's awesome. So in the High Paid Expert program, we teach people how to do LinkedIn consulting, right? And it's a great model because you have no fulfillment. I'm a big believer in no fulfillment models, right? Which is exactly what Randy's doing. So because your fulfillment is your time, right? You spend an hour with them a week. And so Randy, tell us, so you've been closing 3K deals. How much in total revenue have you made doing these kind of LinkedIn consulting deals so far?
Specifically for this, I'm now up to about $7,000 or $7,500. So I did 2 at 3,000, and then I did another one at half that price at 1,500. And the reason was that the person that I was training was already quite sophisticated salesperson in LinkedIn. So the 8 weeks seemed like a little bit too long to kind of start through, like, the pieces, the basic pieces, like what is LinkedIn and how do you do your profile. In fact, their profile was superb. So we spent time on like how to do the automation, a lot of good stuff I incorporated from Ira's training on like how to close sales, how to close deals and how to always be closing. And so that even gave me like another offering now, because you obviously when you're talking to people, you don't know initially what their level is. But the real niche I'm seeing now, and I would encourage people to do, is probably to like find sales managers and do training for their staff. So small companies that, what I'm looking to focus now, small companies that have, say, for example, 3 to 7 salespeople. These are managers that the company should be small enough that you can go make your own they can make their own decision about the purchase, instead of a big company where they want, 4 recommendations or references and, go through all these hoops. These are really easy. So that's the one that I'm currently doing now, is actually training for several people in a networking company, and they're actually at different levels. So that I bring them up, but a $3,000 investment for a sales manager, I mean, it's like nothing. I mean, one of my clients does 401k plans, really hardcore sales, takes a while to close, but for a manager, if he's going to train up 3 or 4 people, I mean, this is just a no-brainer.
Love it. Yeah, how many meetings does it take you to close these 3K deals, would you say?
Usually 2 or 3. So the first one, I know a lot of people are worried about sales. So the first conversation is just really the meet and greet. I mean, it's as low key as possible. All I'm trying to do is get information. So for example, like I would ask you, I would take time so you can tell me what you're doing, and that gets people relaxed. The rest of it is I'm just asking you questions about what you're doing, Where are you doing your marketing now? What's working? And if I can, like, try to get a sense of your budget, because obviously somebody who has a budget of $29 a month maybe isn't a good, maybe isn't a good candidate. But people that actually two categories. One, when I'm talking to them, to understand what their sales process is. Because what I see across a lot of these deals, and especially across social BFF, generating the leads is not the issue. I mean, once you dial that in, it's pretty set to go, the repeatable process. But people take those leads, and I'll literally see somebody, a lead, and then the guy, someone saying, actually, I was inspired by you because you showed one-to-one in your training, and somebody's like, Corey, call me. And I've seen that, and they'll say, like, Mike, call me, and I'll follow up, and I go, did you call the guy? And they're like, well, I don't know, I'm a little busy. So the system absolutely works. You know, if you get that in there, get good messaging, and really focus in on the list building so your list is really clean. Because that was a mistake I guess I made in the beginning, is I would just grab a list of 1,000 people, send it out, and not really spend any time to get it to get it clean. So if you do that, you end up with Bob, who's the owner of Bob's Tree Farm in Eastern Zimbabwe. He's probably a really nice guy, but chances are he's not buying what you're trying to sell.
Yeah, I love it. So what did you like most about the High Paid Expert program?
So what I really liked is that you laid out the classes and the basic PowerPoints so that I had a piece to work from. Now, to be honest, you know, I took your base and then I added on some of my stuff. And I think that everybody probably needs to do that because it's individualized to how I want to do it and how I want to flow and have those pieces. But to have just like tried to sit down, I thought about training for a long time, but to try to just sit down and come up with 8 weeks of material on your own, that's a big piece. So, and some of the pieces like how to do good content, I probably wouldn't have thought about. So, and the pieces that I found, two valuable pieces I found that I added in there. One is I mentioned the pieces that are specific to the customer, and then added in, I know this sounds funny, but added in the pieces where I've had failures or I've had struggles. So for example, what to do when you send out a connection request and somebody doesn't like that and sort of sends you back the hate mail from it. Doesn't happen very often. Yeah. But if you're sending out 3,000 a month, I guarantee you're going to get a few of them. So I stumbled and failed on that a couple times. But what I found is that if you have a very tight market, direct market you're going to, if your messaging is matching that market, if when they come to your profile, it matches again, and then all your messaging really the number of people that respond back negatively, it's almost zero for me now. It's probably like 0.001%. And a few of them are just like, you probably heard this, Corey, I don't connect with people that I don't know. I just have never quite been able to understand this. They somehow have missed the point of networking. But so yeah, very, very, very positive things that helped the most. And then the pieces that Ira's put in, you know, about how to do the sales process, you know, how to ask people questions. And actually, one of the best questions I got from Ira was, tell me how you got started in this business. And to your point, to your training, almost everybody will answer that. And if you can get some guy talking for 25 minutes about how he got into it and all the problems he won, I think that you're halfway there in the sales cycle. So
love it.
Past that, I'm still building the pipeline. I've got 4 or 5 other people in the pipeline. I'm just reaching out to the people that I'm connected with. And then, as I said, making an offering of this along with other services.
Love it. So let me ask you this. So you've been a Mojo customer for, you've been on our list. You've been following us for many, many years, from almost the very beginning, right? So
many years. I don't know, I've lost track of all the names of your programs.
Well, yeah, with so many, but like how much, like if you just had to guess, right? How much through what you learned from Mojo and what you've applied and the things that you've gathered from it, and the different programs you've gone into, how much total money would you say that, you know, that has led to for you over the last many years?
So I've been serious the last 2 years. So it's probably in the range of 70,000 now.
Mhm.
And I understand I actually have a full-time day job, so it could be more. I just do this. I do this after hours. And in fact, I've been doing my training. People think it's kind of weird at training at Sunday night at 5 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. So what I can tell you, this is like most people, if you went to my, what do you call it, the JV Zoo account, I've probably bought, it literally goes for page after page after page of $27 programs. And I can say that I never made any money at all from any of those. Well, occasionally, you know, the blind nut gets a squirrel and I sell something for $43. But the piece about your program that's most powerful is it's repeatable. Like you can just literally, I have a social BFF customer that I can just, when he wants leads, I can just like literally turn it on. And within like hours of the next day, he's got lead flow coming back in. Then he'll say, stop it. Now it takes a while to get there. I mean, you have to do some experimentation with the messaging and get your marketing. But once it's there, it's just like, for the customer, it's just like a slot machine. So.
Love it. Ah, nice. Excellent. Okay, good. So what would you say? Look, there's other people out there that are not Mojo customers and they don't have high paid expert program, but they're looking at it. They're interested. What would you say to those folks that are looking at getting the high paid expert program?
Yeah. So a couple things. So, I mean, I'm a huge fan of it. It's literally step by step. I mean, like connect the dots. Here's what to do. All the materials are there for you. What I would really suggest, though, is that you need to do the things in the program for yourself. Because if you're going to teach, you need to have some experience. You know, somebody asks you a question like, how do you go do this? You should at least be able to like go show them how to load up their background image. So you should have gone, go through those pieces. And when you do that, then you'll have really good rapport from the customer. When I started teaching, I would be honest, I was really nervous. First class. I don't know if people should admit that, but you know, because I wanted to do a really great job. And the first class and the first time through, it's all sort of new. But by the time you get the second time and the third time, I'm like, my core deck is built now. So it's just literally a matter of a couple hours. Like if Corey, I wanted to come teach you, I would just adjust that and just focus it in onto, you know, whatever your market segment is. I would add that you have like ongoing weekly presentations and things where you can get more information. Your support team has been great, especially Gladys. She's just always responsive, usually in the next 24 or 48 hours. And the support piece is huge for me. I've probably, like you, I've bought many programs. Actually, I bought just like a cheap funnel program a couple of weeks ago. I mean, there's like no support. I can't figure how to do it. Yours is all there, 100% complete. So that would be my recommendation, that if you just follow that and stay focused on it, that I guarantee you it's going to create some income. And you don't have to start with the big numbers. I mean, $3,000 is a big ticket. I mean, you just need to get out there. I mean, even if you charge $400 for this, I'm not suggesting you do that. I mean, this is only 8 hours. That's still $50 an hour for your time, which isn't too bad.
Mm-hmm. Love it. All right. Thank you, Randy. Awesome, man. Anything else you'd like to share before we wrap up this case study?
No, I think, well, yeah, just add the one thing. I mean, just have a good vision in your mind that you're able to do this and to see the outcome where you want to do, and that you're able to find some customers. And even if a customer says, you know, here's the really interesting thing, Corey, I found. If somebody's having you the initial conversation because they need appointments or they need leads, even if they say no, guess what? Next month, their situation hasn't changed. I mean, I had a customer call me from like a year ago. If they're not able to generate leads today, chances are if you come back to them in a month or two and have the second conversation or give them a different offer, then you'll have a chance to go in and close those. Love it.
All right. Randy Ross there. Thank you so much. Check him out on LinkedIn. Randy Ross, his company is Digital Nomad 724. I love it. So check him out, Randy Ross. Thank you so much, Randy, for being on doing this case study. I really appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thank you, Corey. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Cheers.